Hello and welcome to Newsbreak Chats. Ako po si Chai Hofilenia, ang editor ng Newsbreak. Katapusan na naman ng buwan, kaya pwede nang balikan muli ang mga malalaking issue na pumutok nitong nakaraang buwan. For this month ng February, naisip naming talakayin ang ilang issue, kasama na dito ang disinformation, social media at ang elections, kasi as you know, sa Mayo, election na naman, at pati na ang cyber libel. Ngayong araw na to, makakakwentuhan natin ang tatlong kasama ko from Rappler. Ang siguro kauna-unahang pagkakataon niya na sumama sa Newsbreak Chats, si Vern Tantuco.
Hello!
Kung naalala ninyo, si Vern ay dating lifestyle.
Yes.
At siya yung nag-a-anchor ng Live Jam. Pero ngayon, lumipat na siya sa research. So, magkukwento si Vern mamaya tungkol sa disinformation. Layo, ano? Pero yun, yan si Vern. Bukod kay Vern, makakasama rin natin si Gemma Mendoza. Si Gemma naman ang head ng research. Kung kayo ay miyembro ng Rappler Plus at nag-attend kayo ng briefing nitong huli, recent lang ito, napakinggan ninyo yung report ni Gemma tungkol sa disinformation, social media, and the elections. At isa ring suking-suki na, si Glenda Gloria naman ang aming managing editor. Si Glenda naman ang magkukwento sa atin tungkol sa cyber libel at ano yung implications nito para hindi lang sa Rappler na kinasuhan, pero para rin sa mga ordinaryong gumagamit ng social media. So, good afternoon, ladies.
Hello, good afternoon.
Okay, simulan ko lang siguro kasi madalas na nababanggit yung Shark Tank. Hindi ko alam kung yan ba ay usap-usapan lang dito sa Rappler or ginagamit na rin ito sa labas. What do you mean by Shark Tank and how did it come to be? Vern or Gemma?
So, remember you did that report about yung fake news and manufactured reality in social media. So, how it came to be, first, the Shark Tank is a database that we use to store things we monitor, pages, content from public groups and public pages sa social media. So, nung umpisa po, Chai, remember you did that story where you were looking at 26 fake accounts. And then, yung 26 fake accounts na yun, tiningnan natin yung saan sila nagkapakalat ng mga false information. So, mga groups at pages.
So, yung connections
na yun, yung tiningnan natin. So, ngayon, mula doon, nakita natin, nung una, minomonitor yan sa spreadsheets. Pero medyo hindi na pwedeng mano-mano na spreadsheets kasi ang dami-dami ng comments, ang dami-dami ng pages, posts na ginagawa. So, ang ginawa namin sa research, we started automating with the help of tech. We started automating yung monitor nitong mga, nauna yung mga pages, groups na inaano nitong mga 26 accounts na to. But later, we started going beyond that kasi people started reporting to us pages and groups as well that
so,
need to be monitored.
So, 26.
Lumaki na. And in fact, when we started the fact check program, minsan, hindi lang, kasi pinapasubmit namin sa public is content. Yung mga dubious content na nakikita nila. Minsan, binibigay nila sa amin isang buong page, tingnan nyo. Kasi nagpapakalat ng dubious information yan. So, sinasama na namin yun sa monitoring ng Shark Tank. So, right now, we're looking at actually, nasa 16,000. Mga last count over a dozen, over 12,000 or 16. Mga ganun na.
12,000 accounts ang nasa database
public
nyo.
Pages and public groups. Hindi natin minomonitor yung private conversations. We're just looking at the conversations in the public spaces on Facebook.
Okay, Vern, dun sa nabanggit ni Gemma na 12,000 accounts in that database. So you've been monitoring and watching these accounts very closely. Meron ka bang mga napansin na certain trends last year, patterns?
Yeah. So, first off, the stories that we fact-check, usually they follow the real headlines.
Okay.
So if, for example, Catriona Gray won Miss Universe, they are going to spread some disinformation about Miss Universe, about Catriona, and things like that. Another thing we noticed was that they will cite experts who are not really considered experts in their field.
So kunwaring experts?
Yeah. So they will say someone is even, someone graduated from a university in the US. They are suddenly considered an expert in whatever subject they're talking about. Yeah. And then another one would be that things that went viral from years ago, they will crop up again and they will become viral again nowadays. So for example, I fact check a lot of stuff about the Marcoses. So one example would be there was a post from 2014 and it started, someone shared it again on Miss Gemma's newsfeed, I think. And it had hundreds of and thousands of shares, thousands of likes, but it wasn't factual.
So ang question ko, and I think a lot of people are curious about this, sa dinami-dami ng accounts on social media, sa dinami-dami ng kumakalat na fake information, false information, paano pinipili kung alin yung uunahin or ipa-prioritize in terms of fact-checking?
Yeah, so I mentioned it a little bit a while ago. We prioritize the ones that have thousands of shares, thousands of comments and likes and things like that. Mostly because it's very dangerous when a lot of people are sharing things that are not true, and they believe it, diba? We also fact check things that could damage a person's reputation, for example, or things that do affect public discourse.
So sometimes also, may mga paminsan-minsan lumalabas na false content about public matters of public safety. Halimbawa, the vaccines, yung earthquakes, mga ganun. So, yun, fina-fact check din natin. Anything that can affect public opinion and
when
public
do you
safety.
say na ang isang post ay went viral? Ano yung batayan or ano yung measure?
We look at the shares, we look at the posts, we look at the comments. Tapos, isa pang tinitingnan namin, halimbawa dun sa comments, kung pinapaniwalaan ba ito ng tao, mukhang naniniwala ba yung mga tao sa nakalagay na content. Kasi halimbawa, for instance, may pinapalabas na satire lang siya, yung nagpapatawa lang supposedly, pero kung titingnan mo, naniniwala yung tao, so kailangan mong bigyan ng context or kailangan mong i-fact check yun. Kasi obviously, na it fooled people.
Okay, so last year, sabi niyo, experts.
Yeah.
Pero this year naman, meron bang bago? I mean, it's been 2 months, so far.
The patterns have been continuing. I'd say we've been fact-checking a lot of political content, but that's because the elections are coming up, and we fact-check what politicians are saying also. But then that's nothing new naman.
One of the things that we have been noticing, for instance, is history. So, Philippine history pages cropping up every now and then. So, one of the things that Vern actually fact-checked was something that we noticed from one supposedly historical, parang post about, the Marcos and history. It was actually claiming that there was a prehistoric royal family in the Philippines called the Talianos, and they ruled over, supposedly the Philippines used to be part of this kingdom called Maharlika, and that happened around the week when the president wanted to change the name of the Philippines to Maharlika. So we fact-checked that, and the funny thing there was, we reached out to a historian about that, for help in fact-checking that. Nung una, ayaw niyang pansinin kasi it was so, as far as the historians are concerned, it's so stupid because there's really no basis for it. But the fact was,
siya.
So we told him, umiikot siya, 86,000 yung shares niya. So, sir, so nag-isip siya, and then we are very happy that now he's helping us out And ano to, nagbibigay siya ng inputs pag may nakikita tayong historically.
From a outsider's perspective, kasi si Glenda hindi naman siya involved sa pagbubutingting nung accounts. Why do people believe these things? Lalo na yon, kung whether it's historical or whether distortions or incredible claims. Kasi ba gullible? Kasi ba gustong maging viral din? What do you think?
Well, a combination of factors, but one is really yung ano na rin, no? Parang kasi Facebook is made in such a way na you get to see the feed shared by your friends, and you trust your friends to share what is true, your interests. So, assuming na shinare ni Vern, who's my friend, then I believe her. Una yun. Tapos pangalawa, very wise din itong mga fake accounts na to eh. Like gagayahin nila minsan yung mga popular brands, existing brands like bbc.com, mapalitan lang nila yung pareho yung logo, di ba? So, unang-una, sabi ko nga dun sa Cagayan workshop sa mga estudyante, everyone is guilty of actually spreading some sort of fake news. Kasi minsan, we don't read what we share eh. So, human nature yun, impulse. Tapos kung makita mo BBC, di mo na i-verify. Ay,
share lang.
hindi pala yun yung totoong BBC. Di ba maraming ganun na?
Maraming ganun. My own family sometimes. So, dati nun, and I tell them about it. So, minsan, for instance, memes, ang daling mag-share kasi ng memes. Like, I associate myself with a particular hugot or particular meme. So, bigla i-share ko na yun from that page. Little do I know, like, first, I don't know who are behind those pages. Diba? So, in effect, I'm being instrumental in growing the audience of those pages. Tapos, in the middle of it, yung pala yung pages na yan are being grown so that they can also be used.
Are you saying na yung minsan paggamit ng memes and yung mga inspirational messages are actually means of baiting followers? Is that what you're saying?
It's pop culture. Diba? Pop culture siya. Yung hugot, may angst ako, tapos may post kang something doon, tapos nag-associate ako doon sa angst na yun. So, lalike ko na siya, i-share ko na siya. Ang daming nagko-comment sa mga ganung pages.
Tapos, and then later on, di ba, the same na nag-spread ng memes, biglang may political siya na sinashare.
So, we're in fact-check that a few pieces na related to that.
Ano ang halimbawa ng mga memes that you've noticed na which were very striking for you?
Well, what Ms. Gemma was talking about, na page that shared memes and then suddenly shares something political. That was one example. And my friends I actually had friends who liked that page. So they probably shared, diba? Yeah, it was verified. So they probably followed it for the hugot. Tapos yan pala may political na sinashare. So they didn't know. Meron din yung mga one-off. Like, we will fact-check Insta-quotes, or we call them Insta-quotes, where there is, I mean, we share Insta-quotes, right, Rappler?
Yes.
So there is like a picture.
Media ginagawa yan.
There's a picture of a politician, and then there's a quote that's attributed to them. But we fact-check a lot of Insta-quotes that attribute like this completely not true quote to a politician. We've done the most rampant are the Bam Aquino quotes.
So there's a inangkin ni Bam Aquino.
Yeah, and then they will put like a news logo, a news organization's logo, so it looks legit. Yeah, pero never niya sinabi. So.
Pero not everybody understands how Facebook works, how the algorithm works. Parang, so what kung madaming likes or madaming followers ang isang account? Ano ba yung significance nun?
Well, the reach is higher. So basically, the way it's working is, so you have the followers of that account, and then the followers of that account can be the reach of that content. So hindi na, ngayon kasi, yung unlike before, diba, you have media organizations being the center and being the source of information and news. Hindi na ganun ngayon. Because of social media, you have every person theoretically can be the source of news. So, kumbaga, at yun, tumatakbo yun, kumakalat yun via our social networks. In effect, yung ano na yun. So, the more connected an account is, the more likely na magkakaroon ng viral effect yung isang content na kinakalat.
So, kunyari, for the May elections, madami ba kayong napansing maraming new accounts na nagbi-build ng
new accounts
followers?
And pages. There are accounts and pages connected to politicians. I mean, well, not officially named, not officially associated with the politicians, but bear their names and are obviously campaigning for them. And when we look at whether are they connected to the main campaign, it looks like it because the official accounts as well as the unofficial accounts are connecting with each other, so sharing patterns. So medyo ano siya, parang it's a big shift from mga previous elections, in fact, where dati noon yung mga official accounts ng mga politicians nagbo-broadcast lang yung post lang sila ng post, hindi sila gaano nakikipag-interact, or kung nag-i-interact sila doon man lang sa page nilang official. Ito medyo ano na, parang there's a network effort already in the propagation of content to promote or attack.
Meron ka bang napapansing very active political accounts on social media and parang maybe different from the previous years, yung heightened activity?
Yeah, I could cite two, yung accounts ni Bato, De La Rosa, and Bongo. Parang omnipresent siya. Maski hindi ko siya nilalike, pero nag-a-appear siya sa feed ko. So, which means a lot, diba? Kasi usually, ang nalalike mo lang or nalalike mo na account, ganun. So obviously, nandun sa network ko of friends yung na dumadaan yung funnel niya. And tapos, very, very sophisticated. Hindi siya crude, hindi siya maganda yung messaging niya. Tapos, panay yung visual, yung change ng visuals throughout the days. It's a very dynamic page. Very energetic page. So, yun. So, ramdam mo na it's really, eto na yung campaign ground mo siya. Na parang na-imagine mo na yung kung ano yung personality ni Bato sa campaign stage.
Ramdam mo rin dun sa page.
Ramdam mo siya dun. Masaya siya. Very disciplined ang messaging and ang texture and color of all the pages. So, very impressed ako.
So, ito ba ang bago ngayon? Parang, because in 2016, 2010, parang hindi masyadong ginamit ang social media, except for, syempre, si President Duterte noong 2016, no? Siya talaga yung gumamit ng social media. So, for this year's midterm elections, may bago?
I guess the Duterte template is being used by other candidates now. Kasi noong 2013, if you recall, I remember we had a forum after the elections, yung Think PH, and we asked the candidates to what extent do they think social media contributed to their winning the elections, and they didn't see it as a big thing yet at the time. Noong 2016, may mga kandidato pang hindi gaanong malaki ang presence sa social media. But the president, the one who won, was very visible, very active yung kanyang following sa social media. And I guess because of that, pagka-success story yun eh. So, sinusunod na siya ngayon ng ibang mga candidates.
Pero siguro, ang napansin ko lang pala na difference from the 2016 is now medyo blurred yung lines ng candidates, administration candidates accounts and pages and administration. So sometimes you see a Bato, De La Rosa account and page sharing yung mga administration public information. Sige, I will not say propaganda, di ba? Na hindi naman related sa campaign niya, pero kine-carry nila.
Yes.
So, halata mo na it's the same network working both for the administration pages and the candidates.
Is that allowed? Ano bang sabi ng COMELEC dyan?
Wala.
So,
Ano ba ang COMELEC rules?
So, like, you will see PNA, for instance, PNA content being shared by by the Bongo pages as well, and the other way around. So, may mga ganong may mga ganong dynamics kang nakikita. Kasi, when you do the network analysis, you find that they're very interlinked, yung mga yon. Ganon. There's also, one of the things I noticed about, for instance, Bongo's campaign is he also closely shares a lot of posts from mainstream media pages. Yun yung isa pang napansin ko. There's content that's favorable for him that are posted in mainstream media pages, and then he posts them. Yun yung isang...
Meron ba kayong nakikitang links with, well, kanina kasi di ba, si Mike Cohen was, meron siyang testimony and it was mention of Russia. I'm curious lang ako, meron ba kayong nakikitang links with foreign accounts, and could those accounts also play a role in the coming elections? Meron bang early indications?
It was an accident.
Paano yun for them?
Not on Facebook.
Yeah.
But on the websites that we've been following, we noticed that they do share or they do cite experts who are not Filipino, or experts who are not Filipino, and so there is sort of we did observe na maybe they had some help from these people, or maybe they started to notice that other kinds of websites parang from other countries, they write about the Philippines, and so they repurpose that content, put it in their websites, ganon.
Pero nothing unusual naman yan, di ba? Because even in the past, foreign observers would write about the Philippines, would write about Philippine affairs, would write about Philippine politics, Philippine politicians, Filipino politicians. So what's the difference?
Yeah, but these are not legitimate news outlets. They are websites that are known to spread disinformation as well, except
yun yung
they're
difference.
usually spread abroad by Americans. So, for example, there is they cite this guy, Adam Gary, on these websites, and he has his own website where he writes about Eurasian things, and he has been republished by Russian websites and Canadian websites. So, alam mo yun, it's other than the fact that he writes about the Philippines.
So ang
he
red
would have
flag,
nothing.
ang red flag for you is the disinformation.
Yeah.
Now,
Because he contributes to other websites that spread disinformation as well.
okay.
Yung isang, kasi like, when we were looking at it, it was really curious kasi first it's a foreigner and he calls the president Tatay Digong, and supposedly he's an expert or a policy geopolitics expert. And then when I was looking at the content, he was like one particular blog. Ang weird dun sa blog na yun kasi he was called as the Rappler mentality. It was about the dangers of that mentality daw. He talks on and on about things that are so general. So it's very dangerous because it's general. So there's something wrong, and all of it is generalizations. I was looking at it, I was going through it line by line. And then, in the middle of it, he cites as an example of this, yung case sa Singapore. You know that blogger who was sued by the Prime Minister just for sharing content about that IMDb case, the scam. So, kumbaga, sharing something like that is an example of the Rappler mentality daw. I mean, what does that mean? So parang in effect, it's portraying the press as an enemy of development. In fact, kumbaga pinag-aanuhan mo yung all of these failures. Like, there's this talk about general failures of democracy and therefore we need an alternative.
So merong ganyang
It's a
disinformation
theme.
and
It's
depiction of the
it's
media.
not precisely the details. That's the issue. It's the rampant pushing at certain themes. Like, totoo naman talagang may failures,
Yes.
ba, after EDSA, and that's never been
Disputed.
disputed. In fact, media has been talking about those failures, di ba?
Yeah.
Pero ito, parang pinapalabas, kasalanan to ng media. Di ba? What is the
I'll shift
message?
lang to kasi disinformation, tapos so we're seeing that, we're seeing lots of that. At the same time, we're also seeing messages of hate. And I guess ito rin yung dahilan kung bakit nagkaroon ng cybercrime law and specifically cyber libel, pangbalanse doon sa hateful messages na yun, defamatory messages. Why should we be concerned about cyber libel when yung thinking also is yan din yung protection ng tao against abusive language online?
Well, unang-una siguro kasi yung cyber libel minsan iniisip natin na parang bagong anyo siya ng libel. When actually talagang based din siya dun sa old definition of libel, which is really, malicious publication of something wrong, no? Ang nakakatakot lang doon kasi lagi natin sinasabi na hindi dapat criminal. Kasi mabigat na that libel is a crime eh. We are one of the few countries na may ganung pang krimen ng libel. Anong consequence nun? Pag sinabi mong crime ang libel, then yun yung consistently, historically sa history ng Philippine media at saka media rin sa Asia, ginagamit ito ng the powerful, ang gobyerno, to harass journalists. Kasi when it's a crime, then you can be imprisoned. So yun yung laging takot. Itong cyber libel, then parang open to interpretation and misinterpretation dahil bagong batas itong cybercrime law na enact lang siya noong 2012, sinabi ng Supreme Court, constitutional for the most part yung law noong 2014. Pero may paglilinaw yung Supreme Court. Kasi kaya tayo nagalit doon sa cybercrime law, di ba? Dahil sabi, ibig mong sabihin kung ni-retweet ko yung libelous article mo, Chay, ay pati ako na nag-retweet, liable. Sinabi ng Supreme Court, hindi. Tanggalin nyo yung abetting provision ng law. Hindi yan applicable. Ibig sabihin, kung ang malalibel lang, si Chay na nagsulat ng libelous.
Na original.
Hindi ako, the original author. Pero even then, hindi, sa tingin ng gobyerno, tsaka the powerful who are, subject of critical press and reporting, they can use that. So that, in fact, magmula nung umano na yung batas na yun, ang dami nang nag-file ng cyber libel cases sa DOJ.
Wala nang katapusan.
Sige lang, maski mali, o nag-share ka ng ganyan, sige, libel. So, unang-una yun ang mali, it's a crime. It's not supposed to be a crime. Sige, filean mo ng administrative complaint, but not a crime.
Pero ano nga ang difference ng cyber libel dun sa ordinary libel in terms of penalties, halimbawa?
Yan, yung penalties mas mahal siya kung mag-ano ka ng damages tsaka maski sa posting ng bail.
Magkano na nga ang ordinary libel?
Nakalimutan mo na libel.
10,000.
Nung panahon natin.
Alam ko yan.
Diba? So 10,000 lang ang libel nung panahon natin. Ang cyber libel, si Maria, 100,000. Ang sakit nun. Si Rain, 100,000. Kasi nasa medyo complicated yung computation. But that in itself, wow. Halimbawa, yung taga-dyaryo na isang online website sa Mindanao, na 5 lang sila, cyber libel mo sila. A bill of 100,000 will actually paralyze them, cripple them. So,
how about yung prescriptive period? Kasi yung old libel, parang isang taon lang, di ba? Dito naman sa cyber libel, ano ang difference?
Ang pagkakaintindi ko sa Supreme Court decision is that this is not a new offense. Ang sinasabi lang ng cybercrime law is ang dinagdag lang doon is computer as a means of, as your means of communication. Pero the cybercrime law does not define a new libel. So, kung ano yung prescriptive period ng revised penal code na 1 year, yun din. Pero syempre, hindi naman ako judge, hindi ako justice. Pero yun yung pagkakasabi at tingin ko yung interpretation ng most lawyers of the Supreme Court decision.
Pero yung mga, yung advocates nga ng cyber libel, kung tama ang pagkakaalala ko, parang sinasabi nila na dapat 12 years. So from the time na pinublish online, bibilang ka ng 12 years within which pwede pang mag-file ng kaso ang kahit sino. Tama? Yun ba yun?
So maganda na untested yan. At kung meron mang silver lining sa cyber libel case against Rappler, yun siguro yung nakikita ko. Kung aakyat yan all the way up to the Supreme Court, then the Supreme Court can finally define for us kung ano ba talaga yon. At iklaklaro uli kung hindi man naging klaro nung unang desisyon nila when they said that the law is constitutional except for that abetting provision, then let it be clarified once and for all.
So ano ang implications nito on ordinary Facebook users? Halimbawa, users of social media, Vern.
In fact, most of those na filean ng case are hindi journalists.
Hindi journalists.
They're mostly ordinary Filipinos who just happen to be on social media. So it does not just affect journalists.
So ibig niyong sabihin, meron akong nag-comment lang ako sa isang provocative piece, isang post, and it could be potentially libelous.
Hindi nagustuhan yung comment
if they didn't like it.
Oo.
Kasi alam mo yung specific line ng law. Sorry, nag-research ako. Sabi niya, committed through a computer system or other similar means which may be devised in the future. So may ganun pa siyang So ngayon, dahil nga bagong batas, syempre lahat gagamitin yan. Sige, i-invoke yan para Kaya nga ang original sin, dapat di mo gawing crime.
So decriminalize libel.
Pa rin.
Whether it's the ordinary libel or cyber libel. So ano dapat ang pag-iingat na dapat gawin ng ordinary people on social media?
Don't spread like lies. Don't say things that you are not sure are true.
And
don't post things that you cannot defend.
Kasi at least tayo, di ba, as journalists, before we post something, we really go through the process of research. And then, pinapangatawanan natin. Kumbaga, nakahanda tayo, di ba? Kung ano to, so which is why we really carefully pick what we write, di ba? Because gusto natin, pangatawanan natin. Pag sinabi natin ganito to, pinapaniwalaan natin based on our research na ganito to, or our investigation. Yung mga ordinaryong tao, kung impulse mo lang, di ba? Kung nagsalita ka on social media, and then you did it very impulsively, di ba? Ayun, pwede kang pwede ka talagang kasuhan.
What about the argument na, freedom of speech ito freedom of expression nito So I'm entitled and Facebook is the platform. And hinahayaan naman yan ng Facebook.
There are limits to the freedom of speech, and the limits to that is when you're starting to infringe on other people's rights. And in fact, that's something that's also being discussed in other countries, hindi lang sa Pilipinas. Kasi halimbawa sa India at sa Myanmar, di ba? Yung instigation to hate is causing things on the ground like yung genocide sa Myanmar, di ba? So, in India, may yung false rumors is causing people to lynch strangers. So yung mga ganung bagay, akala mo fun lang yun, di ba? Parang it's something you're just doing as a matter of pero kung may impact siya sa ibang tao, then
For ordinary people, again, no, parang kasi nga, minsan very overwhelming na ang daming false information, ang daming hateful speech. Kung makikisawsaw ako, if I jump in, then I become
The target.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. So I'll just stay away and di na ako makikialam. Is that a good thing? What can ordinary people do?
Siguro kailangan makialam kasi lahat ng Pilipino nasa Facebook.
Yeah.
Kumbaga,
99%
yun ang-
ba
oo,
na?
so yun ang mundo mo.
Yeah, you
Walang
should-
pinag-iba yan sa climate
Facebook
change.
nation.
Yeah,
Oo.
diba? Na parang you're responsible for your own environment.
And looking out for your friends, di ba? So kung kaibigan mo nag-share na ng false
oo.
news, di ba? Nung fake yan, di ba? Pero alam mo naman, huwag ka namang basta lang isnabin mo na lang si kaibigan or i-unfollow mo na lang siya. Kausapin mo yung kaibigan mo, kausapin mo yung nanay mo, yung kapatid mo na nag-share ng gano'n na, ate, kuya, di ba? Medyo mali po yan. Ito po yung totoo, di ba?
And it's not to say naman na you can't post anything online for
Yes.
fear that you're gonna get attacked, diba?
Right.
You should just post things online that you are sure are true and correct
Yes.
and factual.
Okay. So there, we're still studying disinformation very closely, monitoring all these accounts, and we'd like to invite everyone to be a part of the entire process. It's
we
very
need
important.
eyes.
Oo, kasi
Yeah,
talagang,
oo.
Gemma.
Customized kasi yung Facebook to you it's personalized. So, we don't actually see everything that you see on your feed.
Yeah.
So, it's important na if you spot this, you report para pwedeng i-double check, di ba? Kung hindi, otherwise, you let it to happen.
So, saan sila mag-i-email?
So, for Rappler, Vern?
It's factcheck@rappler.com.
Dahan, ulit. Saan ipapadala?
Factcheck@rappler.com.
Fact check, one word.
Yes.
Fact check at
All
Rappler.
small letters.
Okay.
And then we ask people to send a URL and a screenshot to that email. They can also message on the Newsbreak Messenger on Facebook.
May
And we
sumasagot
look at
po
that
doon.
also, yeah.
Okay,
Hindi
so
bot, guys.
it's a battle that we have to win. It's a battle for truth. It's a battle for democracy even. Kasi nga, if lies spread, then hindi na natin alam kung anong paniniwalaan. So again, please, if you're able to spot all these dubious accounts and pages, alert us, alert Gemma, alert Vern, wag na si Glenda.
And they will respond, right?
Yes, and they will
Yeah,
respond.
yeah, we respond.
So fact check, send to factcheck@rappler.com. Thank you very much for joining us.